Girls, 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 girls. Apparently they get you in a lot of trouble these days. So I don't know if you guys know who JoCat is. JoCat is an animator, but is also a streamer, and they do a bunch of content on the internet that I'm going to be very honest with you, I do not watch. Their content is not my content, okay? I like a good cat boy and everything, but this ain't my cat boy, okay? This is a stray on the street. They have not been domesticated in my household. Point is though, JoCat is in trouble. They've been canceled. They're in big trouble.
The Chal has donated $10. Going into the girls' controversy is just a dodge to avoid the story of what you did to Mappy.
Yeah, I didn't do anything to them in Kosovo. Anyway, point is, JoCat is in trouble. They're canceled. They're big canceled to the point where JoCat has put out a retirement letter. Let me read you this caption. If this is what it takes to be a content creator online, I don't think I'm cut out for it. Read JoCat.net. TLDR, I'm going to finish up my current ongoing projects, then I'm going to be taking an indefinite break from making content. Let's read a little bit of this before I describe where this came from, because I want you guys to keep this image in your mind when you see the video that produced this, that caused this. My name is Joe, and I've been making videos on YouTube for 5 years. I have a combined total of about 200 videos and hundreds of hours of content. On October 6, 2020, I did a live stream of the early access release of Baldur's Gate 3. And during character creation, I did a bit where I briefly sing a gender-bent parody of Lizzo's Boys. It seemed to go over well with my audience and all my friends. I typically do these kinds of bits for my live stream sometimes. I was also partly inspired by the source of where I first heard Lizzo's song, Hakeem Animation's video. Running the idea by my friends, who are all very encouraging and supportive of me, I decided it could be a fun project to animate the brief stream moment for my YouTube audience who may miss or not be interested in my live streams. And so on April 2nd of the following year, I finished and uploaded my I Like Girls video, and it got a universally positive response from my audience, my peers, and my partner. Now, before we read the rest of this about how times have turned against him, I have to play the video. So just be warned, he likes girls. We're gonna watch this video now. Remember, this has caused him to take an indefinite break from content creation. The negative response this 35-second clip got. So just realize that for a second. Somebody was going about their life, producing content, creating art for the, the 80 to 90 years they're on this planet before they die, taking their days, using them one by one to try to create with whatever time we have here to leave a lasting impression on this marble floating through space. And these 35-second clip right here set them off that course. Let's watch.
Sad that there's no muscly girls in here. Well, I mean, yeah, but, sure, I like to joke around and talk about how, I'm strong women all the time, but that's not the only girls I like. I like big girls, pretty kitty girls, really witty girls, singing ditty girls. I like the licky girls with the nice thighs. I like a good chest, no matter what size. I like the belly folds, I like the six-packs, really tall queens, and the short stacks. From the mild girls to the wild girls. You got style, girls, make them proud, girls. Yeah, I just really like girls.
That's it. He likes girls. It's a video where he shows a bunch of different types of women and characters from different types of media with a bunch of different body types and types of women, tall women, short women, heavyset women, skinny women. And he's like, oh, wow, look at all these different types of women. I'm attracted to all of them because women are beautiful. I like women. That's the video. And apparently, this got him into trouble. Let's read about how this got him into trouble. About a year later, it seemed to have reached outside its target audience. And ever since then, I have seen and received many assumptions about my character, my history, my beliefs, my relationships. It was 35 seconds. There was like... there was like 10 seconds of boobage, maybe. 5 seconds of abs, 5 seconds of short stack. I mean, there was so little to take all of these assumptions from about all these different things about this person. Oh my gosh. Character, history, belief, my relationships, and all those of my partner, as well as threats of violence to me, as well as my family. Doxing attempts. I'm sorry. I'm just imagining like somebody calling his grandmother, and his grandmother answers the phone. I know this is really sad because he's taking time off of work. But I just gotta say this quick. Somebody calls up his grandmother. He picks up. Hello, JoCat residence. Hello. If your grandson isn't gay within the next week, if he doesn't test how much like some boys within a week, I'm gonna burn down your home. Like how does somebody even capitalize upon doxing their phone number? What type of phone calls do you call about this issue? Like, haha, you like women, click, haha. So I've read some of the people who are angry about it, and apparently it's about objectification. They don't like the fact that the women are being talked about and described by their body types instead of, say, their intellect. But for me, I think that's stupid. And the reason I think that's stupid is women are many things. Same reason that men are many things. Men are intelligent. Men can be hardworking. They can be lazy. They can have all these different character traits, and they can be hot or they can be ugly. Same thing is true about women. He was just expressing not that, oh, women are just slabs of meat, and if you don't get me one of these turkey leg short stacks, then I ain't gonna, oh boy, you're gonna see some sexism like you've never seen before. What he's expressing is that he has interest in women over many things, but one thing he was particularly trying to get across was physical attributes. And what was the physical attributes he was trying to say he likes? All of them, many of them, saying, wow, look at all of these different types of women of different body types that I find attractive. I thought it was a very body positive message. I didn't think it was, oh, look at all these slut Mario characters, and oh yeah, this is what I think women are. I received it as, wow, he likes women, he's attractive to women. Is it really? Is that the problem? Is that he's attracted to women and expresses attraction? Because how do you express attraction to women without talking about their body in some sense, or saying that you're attracted to their body or something about them, right? You're attracted, like their hair, their eyes. Oh, you like tall women. You like women with abs. In order to express attraction, you're gonna have to say things like that. I mean, what should it be? Like, oh, what do you find attractive about me? Oh, your aura, your hardworking attitude. Yeah, there's physical things that men find attractive about women, because that's what straight men feel about women. They feel attracted to women. How soulless do you have to be? How soulless and lifeless and loveless do you have to be to get angry about something like this? That you see somebody enjoying their life, enjoying one of its many pleasures, including attraction to one of the fairer sexes, and your response to that is to look down upon it and snub your nose to a natural human reaction that 80 to 90% of human beings have for one another, outside of like the 1 to 2% of the population that's asexual. It's natural to be attracted to women, to be attracted to the other sex is natural. To be attracted to other people like that is natural. You're asking for people to suppress that natural desire and to be dishonest about that natural desire, to not be who they are and to not express that. It's sexless, it's loveless, it's dull, it's dry. Ugh, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Just because like your vagina's dry doesn't mean the rest of our vaginas have to be dry too. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's keep going. Granted, a lot of this has been primarily on Twitter, where I could simply log off and ignore the haters, but no small amount has leaked into other parts of my regular day-to-day that is harder to ignore. Private DMs over Discord and Twitch, suspicious packages being sent to my family, but I've always kept quiet about it because speaking out about it publicly, defending myself, any reaction to it would just encourage more and be presented as my own fault as well. But if that's the trade-off to do something like share the things I make that I'm proud of on the internet, seeing as I'm writing this is probably an indicator that I'm just not cut out for it. And the best thing for everyone would be to stop and pursue something else. Despite being very grateful for what this job has done for me and my family, I'm simply not strong enough to keep doing this if it means having to accept this kind amount of distress. Perhaps that makes me weak, but I've rarely ever thought otherwise. See, for me, I've just had to learn to just ignore Twitter, ignore comments. I mean, I don't want to say you just do this because it's not easy to ignore those things, but just, I guess for me, like once I see a certain comment over and over and over again, and that's the way I get over comments or over insecurities. If somebody tries to go after like an insecurity I have about myself, eventually if they do it enough times, for most things, I get over it, right? Like you can only hear an insult so many times before it loses its thing, at least in my case. And so for me, getting used to public critique, and when I say critique, a lot of it is just like, haha, I hope you put a gun in your mouth, like that type of stuff. For me, it just took a lot of exposure. And then after that, I kind of weathered it quite fine. I had a person in my IRL space recently comment on my online activity around me. And while they didn't say that the majority of content on the internet was like, oh, evil Dylan, whatever, they said some of the things I've seen people say about you online, I couldn't deal with that. And, you know, I maybe I take for granted sometimes that amount of exposure I've had where I see one streamer tell another streamer to end their own life. And I just barely blink because it's just, you know, this just how toxic the internet is, you know. But it's not normal for it's not normal. It's not a way people would behave in person. And all of the critiques that he's getting, nobody, like 99% of the people who are critiquing him over this video would never say this stuff to his face at a conference. And they're using the anonymity of the internet as a shield, as a layer to disconnect themselves from their shitty commentary as they go after this guy's character. I never meant to make anyone upset. I only ever just wanted to make things I was passionate about for fun. I never intended for this one video to really be all that much deeper than just a thing I wanted to do on a whim because I thought it could be fun. I never planned to have YouTube be my job, but people happened to like what I made, so I thought it could be a good idea to make some more of it and use it to pursue projects I've always wanted to make, as well as be the change in YouTube I wanted to see. I was inspired by the channels I watched growing up and the wonderful friends that have encouraged and inspired me to be who I am and make what I want. I still want to make things, but perhaps I should just keep them to myself for the time being. For anyone that cares, I'll still be continuing Heart of Alethian and J Omega Charity, but once those are finished, I will be taking an indefinite break from posting anything online. It's a decision I've considered ever since the first hate wave from about a year ago, but wanted to sit on it and see if the feeling would persist. I know now this is the best choice for me. If you took the time to read all of this, thank you. I'm sorry for causing so much trouble. Thank you for watching my videos. JoCat. It really does just feel like those, like, I'm trying to think of another like media parallel to what this feels like, and I'm something in my soul is dragging me towards like those moms in the 90s talking about GTA is gonna like make the kids mass murderers, and I'm thinking about the different like crazy insane reactions to pieces of media that were completely unfair, and all I can land on for this as to what would motivate people to go after this guy, before I talk about, you know, the pressures of, I guess, being a content creator, is for some of them, it must be that, you know, maybe they're, and I'm going to be very uncharitable here, but for them, maybe they have a loveless life. They aren't getting much affection. And this is just a way of just lashing out. I have no clue what's going on in the personal lives of people that they see all of the world's problems and they decide that they're going to preoccupy themselves with trying to go after a guy on the internet because he said that he's attracted to women like 90% of other guys. That he expressed that human desire and now he's being punished for it. I don't know what personally possessed these people, but it isn't sexist to be honest about your desires, to be honest about the attraction that you have for women. These attractions are programmed into your brain. Unless you're saying that your very programming itself is sexist, and therefore sexism is inherent in both men and women from just their attraction of the other. Number one, that's a horrible interpretation of male-female relations, and I think is not setting us up for happiness and success. But also, I just don't think makes really all that much sense. Man, I hope JoCat eventually comes back and can continue to make content on the internet. I guess the conservatives were right. It's finally illegal to be straight. It's finally. I thought they were lying. But they've been telling the truth. It's finally illegal to be straight. You are no longer, as a man, allowed to be attracted to women. But it is very difficult for people to be online and drag through the mud by people on the internet you don't know, and you don't know the motivations of. You don't know what makes them tick. You don't know what makes them lash out at you or come after you. And it can be very difficult to have like hundreds upon hundreds of people on the internet critiquing you, and you're seeing thousands upon thousands of likes and just thinking all of the tens of thousands of people that are seeing these posts and thinking about all your flaws, you think about all your failures. And it can be very difficult for people in that situation. And especially if you're from a part of YouTube, a part of the internet, where that type of critique isn't that common. Or if there is critique, it's just critique like, oh, that's not a good drawing. And it's not, you're a bad person because X, Y, and Z, which is what a lot of this critique was boiling down to. That can be very difficult for people who are not inside, say, like the debate space or a space where that type of inflammatory commentary is well known. Certainly isn't like that usually in the D&D space, which I know that JoCat proliferated himself in. Anyway, I hope eventually he can come back online. If not, then this is a really sad ending and just shows that, a hate mob has a real effect on people, man. The psychological impacts of social media vitriol are real, man. Also, it's illegal to be straight, so the gays have truly won.